What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today we're going to bring up some news that is current and ongoing. An article that was released yesterday through the IBEW website. They issued on their news tab an article from July 21st. I want to read to you. It's hands off the TVA. White House is considering assault on 10,000 IBEW jobs. Now, the reason that I want to bring this up and read it is because this is a physical policy that is being implemented, that is being considered, that is going to harm our siblings out there in the Tennessee Valley area, just trying to stay employed, trying to feed their family, trying to make sure their benefits are paid up, trying to make sure that they're paying for the retirements of others, trying to make sure they still got health care. All of these things that we care about, that we value our jobs and our IBEW membership for. Here we have 10,000 members about to be affected because they're pretty much being considered of having their jobs privatized. So let's dive into the article. The IBEW is alarmed by reports the Trump administration is looking to privatize the Tennessee Valley Authority and is calling on members of Congress and officials throughout the Deep South to resist such a move. The TVA is the primary reason the Deep South became the economic force that it is today. And IBEW members have been there every step of the way, International President Kenneth W. Cooper said. It's an American success story that required skilled union labor. We will fight tooth and nail attempts to turn it into a for-profit corporation whose only concern is ultra-rich shareholders. About 10,000 IBEW members are employed by the authority, which provides low-cost electrical service to more than 10 million customers in 7 states throughout the Deep South. When you are doing everything right, why are people attacking you unless there's some kind of political angle? 10th District International Vice President Brent E. Hall said. We try to keep politics out of the TVA, Hall added. Our job is to generate electricity and keep the lights on. Now, I'm going to pause here for a moment because here's the thing. We do, as a union, try to avoid politics in general, democracy in general. As a union, we try to avoid the pitfalls of politics. But when you're facing fascism, when you're facing evil, like when you're facing bad actors and bad intentioned people, then the politics have to become a real thing because it really affects us. Treating things like things are going to be okay tomorrow really does dismiss the very real danger that is faced by our own members through policies that the government enacts, where some of our members don't get impacted by those policies, but others do. At the end of the day, these types of actions are going to affect our union membership anyway. So politics matters, and we have to be clear where we stand and what we stand for. I'm going to get off my soapbox and get back to the article. Citing sources, The Atlantic reported that President Trump pressured the TVA to scrap a planned gas-fired plant near Nashville, Tennessee, after country music star John Rich complained about it being too close to his home. Rich said in a post on X that he spoke to Trump about the matter. Can you imagine? You're going to affect... You know what? I can't imagine. I can't. Because it's Trump. And somebody stroked his ego, and it was a famous person and a star, and he always wants to be liked by famous people and stars. He wants to be adored. So why wouldn't he screw over the people that he doesn't care about to appease somebody who he's seeking that admiration from? This is Trump 101. The administration followed that up with telling the TVA board, now with only 3 members instead of its usual 9, to fire CEO Don Moll, or they risked being replaced, The Atlantic reported. Trump already has fired 3 members appointed by former President Joe Biden, although retired 10th District International Vice President Robert Bobby Klein remains a member. So far, the board has declined to do so, noting it had no cause and that Moll has followed the Trump administration's instructions of unleashing American energy and achieving American energy dominance. The Atlantic reported the board is concerned Trump is using the dispute involving Rich to advance the privatization of the TVA. Congress and the executive branch have rarely interfered with the board in the past because its unique setup and because it had little reason to do so. TVA is owned by the federal government but receives no federal funding and is run more like a for-profit company. TVA was founded in 1933 at the height of the Great Depression because investor-owned utilities refused to invest in what was then the poorest section of the country. IBEW members have been employed by the TVA from the beginning. They would play a key role in the building of the TVA's proposed small nuclear reactor in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, which is awaiting federal approval. You bring in a new board and a new CEO, and we won't know what the relationship's going to be like the next day, Hall said. Would they value the IBEW? Are they going to be committed to the communities they serve or to Wall Street? In addition to electrification, the TVA brought modern navigation and flood control, especially on the Tennessee River and its tributaries, to the region. It also has preserved about 485,000 acres for public recreation. A 2021 study by the investment bank Lazard found that it had met or exceeded all its investment goals since 2014. IBEW members have been serving TVA, and TVA has been serving its customers and communities for nearly a century, Cooper said. Even the suggestion of this administration meddling with its successful formula should have members of Congress shouting from the rooftops. Now is the time to speak out, not after the changes are announced. IBEW members, especially those in the states of Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Kentucky, Mississippi, North Carolina, and Virginia, should reach out to their members of Congress and the U.S. Senate via Capitol Switchboard 202-224-3121 and tell them, hands off the TVA. My name's Eric, you're watching Union Minded. Remember that the fight's not left and right, it's up and down. It's going to take solidarity to win always. Each one teach one, get out there and reach one. And remember, there could be no union without you and I front and center. So let's go. Peace.